I was watching the Joe Rogan podcast. His guest was an astronaut who had been in space for 93 consecutive days, a little bit short of the all-time record. He had mentioned the fact that they had used to, being in space, lost 1% of their bone density and muscle mass per month, and that it took a long time when they got back to Earth to gain that back, one of the pitfalls of being an astronaut. Now, they've countered that today with resistance training. You have to push against something or else you will lose it. Because what happens is that the body is like you are a fish in the ocean. And why hold on to added appendages that are going to slow you down, that take energy, they're unneeded, so you start to shed them. This is what the body as an efficient organism does. And it brought me to this thought that this zero gravity environment that we are creating for children today, for college-age students who go there, whose parents care so much and want to protect them from absolutely every possible ill that might befall them, rather than let them go out into the world and persevere against opposition. Let them find out what it's like to be teased, bullied, whatever, and then fight back and build that muscle for themselves. But the parents then take over, and the parents are eliminating the gravity. The parents are creating, and our society as a whole are trying to create a zero gravity world, and thus young people are growing up without the muscles needed to confront any danger, any impediment that might get in their way, and thus are becoming the SJW crying, I need my support animal type of people.
I need my service! My life!
They simply don't have the strength, and it's not necessarily their fault. It really is society at large and the parents, because we live in such luxury compared to the past. People say that they would rather be like nobility in the Middle Ages than poor or lower middle class in America today. I say hogwash. That's complete nonsense. Do you know how much resistance you had back then? Disease, no matter how rich you were, you died early. It was simply a statistical fact. And today we are living longer on average than most people ever stayed alive. The 99% of people stayed alive in the year 1500. We have it so good today, and yet we are trying to create this zero gravity environment. And the interesting thing is that we are headed into a virtual reality world where you won't have to climb Mount Everest. You'll be able to see all the views from Mount Everest and trick your mind into thinking that you're actually there, but you did not build the muscle to get up there. And we are more and more and more living in a virtual reality world where anything that we want to experience, we can kind of experience. We can watch any movie we want at our fingertips on the internet, have so many different experiences over video chat, over whatever else, that we are almost fooling our mind instead of going out there and doing the work. So the US is kind of on the decline in this sense. Technology is a huge upswing, but in terms of our personal well-being, in terms of our personal ability to get something done physically or mentally, or to go out there and persevere, we are on the downswing. There are people that are avidly seeing this and going out there and engaging in jiu-jitsu, going to Tough Mudder competitions, entering the octagon, anything for this extreme event. But the majority of people are having this zero gravity experience that will lead to the decline. And this is part of the reason that we don't see eye to eye anymore as a 40-year-old with somebody who's 20 years old. It's just we went through a different experience growing up, and this is part of the reason that they're supporting socialism more and more. The Bernie bros are all generally on the younger side, unless they're idiots on the older side that haven't seen the failures of communism over and over and over in the world, because Bernie is basically just a communist under a democratic socialist guise, to make it sound slightly more appealing, as they take from you at gunpoint what you struggled to earn. But in their minds, you haven't struggled because as a young person, I haven't had to struggle, they think to themselves. And my parents have protected me from everything, and so everything that you have, you must have gotten by because it was there, because it was just given to you, rather than going out there and creating something and earning something, because this is something that the younger people today don't seem to have, because again, it's a zero gravity world. And my remedy for this, because we have to have a remedy, is just to add the resistance training. Allow people to struggle. Force your child to go out there and get a job like I did when I was 16 years old, bagging groceries for the entire summer. Not fun. Taught me what I didn't want to do in the future. Taught me how valuable earning that dollar was. Not so easy when you have to do that. And just see in your life where you might have that zero gravity environment that you've created for yourself, because we all have, and it's very easy to do nowadays. And allow that, build that resistance, and understand that this is what life and growth is about. Because when we die, we're going to look back on those memories that we've actually had and all those great things that we've managed to do for other people and shared. And none of that comes from sitting back doing the absolute minimum, or sitting back and being entertained in a passive way. It almost always comes through doing something that you didn't think that you could do, expanding your circle of comfort. So go out there, resist, not resist the president, resist the easy life. Do something that you find challenging. Grow the muscles for yourself. Peace and blessings. If you like this video, feel free to support it by sharing it, liking it, leaving a comment, subscribe. Peace and blessings to everybody. Go out there and lift something heavy.